Welcome to the official Sales and Marketing for Beauty Conference podcast. This is your go-to destination for real-world insights on building, growing, and thriving in the beauty industry. Whether you're a beauty entrepreneur, a salon or spa owner, a product brand owner, or an aspiring professional, you're in the right place. Each episode is your personal masterclass in beauty entrepreneurship, from sales strategy and social media tips to brand building and behind the scenes stories from industry leaders. SAMB is more than a podcast or an event. We're a year round support system. Mark your calendar for SAMB 2025, our flagship conference happening November 5th through the 7th. It's a virtual event. And so we have a lot of global speakers as well as speakers there in the US and local to New York City. We'll also have some local networking opportunities, and there'll be virtual networking opportunities. And so there'll be hands-on workshops, one-to-one consultations, expert led sessions, all designed to help you scale and succeed and get real actionable strategies and tips to grow the sales and marketing function of your business, right? So stay tuned for the podcast. Make sure you check out our website, and we hope to see you at SAMB 2025.
Now, today we're diving headfirst into something utterly unavoidable for anyone in business, or frankly, anyone who interacts with other human beings: criticism. You know that feeling, right? You pour your heart and soul into your work, meticulously plan every detail, and still that challenging feedback lands, especially in industries built on personal connection and subjective experience like beauty, hospitality, or wellness. It's not if you'll encounter a disgruntled client, but how you choose to navigate that moment. That's the real test.
Precisely. And what's truly fascinating here, and often overlooked, is that your response to criticism isn't just a private dialogue with one unhappy client. No, it's a public declaration, a carefully observed performance that communicates your brand's core values and commitment to every single potential customer watching. This moment, which often feels like a crisis, is actually a crucial high-leverage opportunity. This deep dive will illuminate how approaching these challenges with strategic grace can not only prevent damage, but actually significantly enhance your credibility, forge stronger relationships, and, well, turn a potential setback into a powerful testament to your brand's integrity and resilience. It's about flipping the script entirely.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to equip you with a comprehensive toolkit. We're going to show you how to not only proactively manage client expectations long before any issues have a chance to even surface, but also how to skillfully and gracefully navigate negative feedback when it inevitably does pop up. We're talking about transforming those potential stumbling blocks into genuine opportunities for profound growth and building relationships that are not just strong, but genuinely resilient. This isn't just damage control, it's a strategic playbook for lasting success.
Exactly. We'll be exploring a dual approach that, when mastered, can really revolutionize your client interactions. First, we'll delve into proactive communication strategies, designed to act as a kind of preventative shield, effectively preventing dissatisfaction from ever taking root. Then we'll move into the art of crafting professional, empathetic, and truly graceful reactive responses. These aren't just about putting out fires. They're about actively tuning criticism into a shining beacon of your brand's unwavering commitment to customer focus and continuous improvement. We're connecting the dots between transparent interactions, how they profoundly influence public perception, and most critically, how they build deep, enduring loyalty that stands the test of time.
Right. Our goal for you, as you journey with us through this deep dive, is to walk away with a clear, actionable roadmap. A roadmap for consistently creating positive client experiences, even when the unexpected happens and things don't go perfectly. You'll be better equipped, more confident, and ultimately more successful in building that trust and fostering those lasting relationships that are the lifeblood of any thriving enterprise. Well, we'll dig in. Okay, let's unpack this. Before we even contemplate reacting to negative feedback, before we ever have to face that moment, what's truly eye-opening is the sheer power we have up front to prevent those issues from ever taking hold. Proactive communication isn't just good practice, it's like meticulously building a strong, unshakable foundation for your entire client relationship. And there's no better illustration of this than the beauty industry, with its unique blend of intensely personal service and, well, deeply emotional connections. It provides a fascinating case study for just how utterly vital managing expectations truly is.
When you think about clients in the beauty industry, there's a unique emotional layer at play that perhaps isn't as pronounced in other sectors. It's quite something. Their desires often stem from a deeply personal connection to their appearance, impacting self-perception and even identity. This means clients frequently arrive with very high and at times almost aspirational or, let's be honest, unrealistic expectations. This elevates clear, transparent, and proactive communication from merely beneficial to absolutely essential for cultivating genuine satisfaction and building lasting loyalty. It's about carefully managing those delicate perceptions right from the very first hello.
So when we talk about client expectations, where do they even come from? I mean, it's not like they just appear out of thin air, right?
Not at all, no. Think of a client's expectations as a rich, complex mosaic, meticulously pieced together from countless tiny fragments long before they ever walk through your door. There are vibrant shards from friends' enthusiastic recommendations, glistening glimmers from curated Instagram feeds and TikTok videos. And perhaps the most powerful pieces, their own deeply personal, often unspoken desires for self-improvement, whether it's achieving that elusive perfect haircut, truly flawless skin, or a massage that promises complete mental escape. These pre-existing expectations, whether consciously articulated or not, heavily influence how they ultimately evaluate the service they receive. And the impact of this mosaic is profound, really. When these carefully formed expectations are not just met, but genuinely exceeded, clients don't just return. They become fervent advocates, eagerly recommending you to others, essentially transforming into unpaid, enthusiastic marketing agents. They become loyal patrons. However, when there's a disconnect, when their carefully constructed perfect picture clashes with the service reality, well, that's when disappointment can fester. This often leads directly to negative online reviews, a tangible loss of business, and significant, sometimes lasting damage to your hard-earned reputation. It's the expectation disconfirmation theory in action, where that gap between expectation and reality dictates satisfaction.
That makes so much sense because a perfect haircut or flawless skin are inherently subjective concepts. My personal idea of perfect might be wildly different from yours or, from what a stylist realistically can achieve. So for the professional, how do you ensure that your client's deeply personal, often aspirational definition of perfection aligns precisely with what you can actually deliver within the scope of your expertise and services? It sounds like navigating a minefield, really.
It's precisely that delicate balance, isn't it? And it raises an important question for any professional. How do we effectively manage these often high-flying, emotionally charged expectations, while simultaneously maintaining a grounded, realistic approach to the services we're providing? It's about fostering a profound sense of trust, not by promising the moon, but by clearly defining what is genuinely achievable. Given your expertise in the client's unique circumstances right from the very beginning of that client relationship, it's not about tempering their dreams, it's about translating them into a realistic, tangible masterpiece.
And often, that masterpiece begins with the initial consultation. This isn't just a formality, the quick chat before you dive in. It's arguably the single most crucial stage of the entire client journey. It's that pivotal moment where you truly endeavor to understand the client's vision, dive deep into their desires, and critically ensure that both you and the client are working towards a shared, mutually agreed upon outcome. It sets the stage for everything that follows, almost like writing the script together.
Yes, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, a robust, well-executed consultation process empowers both the client and the service provider in fundamental ways. It achieves this by establishing clear, open communication channels right from the outset, effectively building a bridge between their vision and your capabilities.
Yeah.
It also sets realistic boundaries around what is genuinely achievable. This foundational step minimizes misunderstandings, fosters a sense of collaborative partnership, and ultimately sets the stage for a far more enjoyable and satisfying experience for everyone involved. It's about proactive alignment.
So how do we make these consultations truly effective? Let's get into the how. First, it's all about asking detailed, genuinely open-ended questions. This isn't just about gathering surface-level information. It's about tapping into the client's deeper motivations, their history, and truly making them feel heard and understood. That sense of being genuinely listened to, of having their unique story acknowledged, is foundational to their overall satisfaction. For example, if a client comes in for a haircut, instead of just a basic "what do you want?" or you delve much deeper, ask things like, what look are you truly hoping to achieve with this haircut? What feeling are you going for? Or tell me about what you currently love or dislike about your hair and why. And what are your maintenance expectations for this style once you leave the salon? Are we talking low fuss or high glam? And then listen. I mean, really listen, not just for the words, but for the nuances, the emotion behind them.
Exactly. These detailed, open-ended questions provide invaluable insights into not just the client's immediate preferences, but their underlying desires, their lifestyle constraints, and even their past frustrations. They guide the conversation towards a shared vision, significantly reducing the chances of mismatched assumptions about the final outcome. The more clarity you can achieve here, the less room there is for that insidious creep of disappointment later on. It's an exercise in empathetic inquiry. Consider framing questions that delve into their history too, like, tell me about a time you absolutely loved your hair. What was it about that style or color that felt so right for you? That provides a concrete reference point for their perfect.
That's brilliant because it gets at the feeling they want to evoke, not just the physical manifestation. Okay, next, it's vital to set realistic expectations by addressing any limitations up front. Transparency isn't just a buzzword here. It's your most powerful tool. It's always better to be honest about what is truly achievable, considering practical factors like their specific hair type, their unique skin condition, or the actual time and resources required for a complex service, than to promise something you simply can't deliver. This prevents disappointment from ever taking root, effectively inoculating against future issues.
Absolutely. Transparency builds profound trust. And surprisingly, research suggests that clients often rate transparent disclosure of potential limitations, even when it means acknowledging what you can't do in one go, or what might require more effort from them higher than a perfectly executed but less transparent service. It builds a deeper layer of trust because it signals genuine expertise and care, not just a promise to please. For instance, if a client desires a very specific hair color that will realistically require multiple sessions to achieve safely and without damaging their hair, explaining that multi-stage process upfront is not just crucial, it's a mark of professionalism. Or you might need to clarify that a certain intricate look, while stunning, might require significantly more daily maintenance and aftercare than the client initially anticipates or has time for. This signals that you're prioritizing their long-term satisfaction and the health of their hair or skin, not just the immediate transaction.
Right. It's better to underpromise and overdeliver, isn't it? Next, and this is a classic for a reason, is to use visual aids. Show photos, lookbooks, or examples of your previous work. Honestly, a picture really is worth 1,000 words here, and it's invaluable for bridging any potential gaps in verbal description. Visuals provide a concrete, shared point of reference, ensuring that both you and the client are truly aligned in your expectations and significantly reducing any potential for misunderstandings. It's like having a shared blueprint that minimizes subjective interpretation.
Indeed. Visuals help overcome what we sometimes call the curse of knowledge, where as an expert, you might assume the client understands technical terms or visual concepts that they really don't. Showing them specific examples allows them to point, to react, and for you to gauge their true preferences, ensuring alignment beyond mere words. It's about creating a mutual understanding that words alone can rarely achieve, grounding abstract desires in concrete imagery.
And finally, during that consultation, it's essential to deeply understand the client's lifestyle. This might seem secondary, but it's critical. This raises an important question. Are we truly setting clients up for success after they leave our establishment? Consider if the client's desired high-maintenance service genuinely aligns with their actual capacity for regular touch-ups, extensive at-home aftercare, or daily styling. For example, if a client wants a highly intricate hairstyle that requires significant daily effort but genuinely doesn't have the time or inclination for daily styling, it's absolutely crucial to explain the commitment required. This ensures their satisfaction extends far beyond the moment they walk out the door, preventing that common scenario of initial delight turning into long-term frustration.
And that's where the cognitive dissonance can creep in. If a client invests in a high-maintenance style, but then finds they can't maintain it, they feel that internal conflict. By addressing lifestyle up front, you're not just offering a service, you're offering a sustainable solution. You're showing that you care about their experience not just in your chair, but in their actual life for weeks and months to come. That builds a much deeper level of trust and genuine loyalty.
Okay, so once that meticulous consultation is done and the service begins, the dialogue absolutely doesn't stop there. This brings us to strategy 2, clear communication throughout the service process. This ongoing communication, almost like a real-time feedback loop, allows you to continually adjust and refine the experience, keeping it on track and personalized.
Yes, this ongoing dialogue is utterly critical precisely because it allows for immediate, subtle adjustments if client expectations or preferences subtly shift during the process, or if any unforeseen challenges or opportunities arise during the service itself. It's about maintaining a dynamic, responsive interaction rather than simply executing a pre-planned, rigid procedure.
It's like navigating a ship. You set a course, but you're constantly making micro adjustments based on currents and wind.
Right.
Key practices during the service include regular check-ins. Periodically ask clients if they're comfortable, if the pressure is right, or if things are proceeding as they expected. Simple, open-ended questions like, how does this feel? Or, are we still on the right track with the length here? Can prevent minor discomfort or subtle dissatisfaction from quietly escalating into a major, unfixable issue by the end of the service. During a facial, for instance, a simple, is the pressure comfortable or would you like it adjusted, can make all the difference to their relaxation and overall satisfaction. Or during a hair service, asking about the cut or color direction ensures continuous alignment with their evolving vision.
Exactly. Those regular check-ins are vital for what psychologists call the peak end rule. Our memory of an experience is heavily influenced by the peak, the most intense, and the end moments. By ensuring comfort and satisfaction throughout, especially during critical stages, you're actively shaping a positive memory. It's also an opportunity to check in on their ongoing emotional state, allowing you to address small concerns before they become big ones.
Then there's transparency about delays or changes. Let's be real, sometimes, despite our best efforts, things simply don't go exactly as planned. A treatment might take longer than expected, or a specific step might not unfold precisely as anticipated. If something goes wrong, or if there's a delay, be utterly upfront with the client. For instance, if a color treatment is taking longer to develop than initially estimated, inform the client and, crucially, explain why it's necessary for achieving the best, most desired results.
Clients genuinely appreciate honesty. They really do. When they understand the rationale behind a delay or a minor change, when you sort of demystify the process for them, they are far more likely to be patient, trusting, and to view the situation not as an inconvenience or an error, but as a commitment to quality and achieving their desired outcome. This proactive honesty actually diffuses potential anger or frustration, replacing it with understanding and a heightened perception of your professionalism. It builds trust in real time, even when faced with imperfections.
And before proceeding with those truly critical, maybe irreversible steps in complex services, it's always wise to reconfirm outcomes. For example, with an advanced hairstyling or a detailed skin treatment, explicitly confirm the desired outcome again. You might say, just to be sure, we're aiming for this level of lift and volume, correct? Or are we still happy with the shade direction before we finalize the toner? This small but powerful act ensures both parties remain firmly on the same page, acting as a crucial safety net that helps avoid any last-minute surprises or disappointments. It's that final sanity check.
Yes, and this reconfirmation serves as a psychological reassurance for the client. It shows them you're meticulous, you value their input, and you're committed to their satisfaction right up to the finish line. It reduces their anxiety about the unknown and gives them a final chance to voice any subtle misgivings, ensuring that the finished product is truly aligned with their current expectations.
This leads us seamlessly into strategy 3, managing post-service expectations, follow-up, and aftercare. Here's where it gets really interesting, because true client satisfaction isn't just about the time they spend in your chair. It profoundly extends long after they've left your establishment. It's about the lasting impression, right?
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, effective post-service management is absolutely crucial for client retention and, even more powerfully, for creating genuine client advocacy. It fundamentally demonstrates a long-term commitment to their satisfaction and to the longevity of the results you've provided. You're essentially showing that your care doesn't end when the transaction does. It's about ensuring the positive experience continues to resonate, fostering a sense of continued value.
Key post-service practices start with providing clear, actionable aftercare instructions. Give detailed, easy-to-understand guidance on how to care for their results in the days and weeks following the treatment. This is especially important for services like chemical treatments, intricate hair coloring that requires specific maintenance, or facials where post-treatment care significantly impacts the outcome. For example, advising on how to properly care for a fresh haircut to maintain its style, explaining precisely how long a facial treatment will take to fully take effect, or providing specific step-by-step instructions for chemical treatments like perms or relaxers. Written or digital guides can be incredibly helpful here, so clients have something concrete to reference later, reducing reliance on memory.
Exactly. Giving clear aftercare instructions isn't just about preserving your work. It's about empowering the client. You're extending your expertise beyond the service, giving them the tools to maintain that wow factor themselves. This helps prevent frustration stemming from a lack of knowledge, which might otherwise be unconsciously attributed back to your service. It also leverages the endowment effect. Clients value something more when they feel they've invested their own effort into maintaining it. It's fascinating.
Another crucial practice is to offer genuine post-service support. Inform clients precisely how they can reach you with any questions or concerns after the service. Even better, proactive follow-up messages or emails, perhaps a day or two later, that check in on their satisfaction and inquire if they have any questions about the results can be incredibly reassuring. This provides an invaluable opportunity to address any potential issues before they even have a chance to escalate into a public complaint.
This proactive support is a powerful reassurance, demonstrating that your care extends beyond the transaction, and it can intercept dissatisfaction before it festers. In fact, if an issue does arise and is handled exceptionally well during this follow-up, it can actually trigger the service recovery paradox, which means a client's loyalty and satisfaction can end up being higher than if no problem had occurred at all.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a testament to your responsiveness and commitment.
And finally, promote realistic expectations for maintenance. This loops back powerfully to the lifestyle discussion we had during the initial consultation. Clearly explain the ongoing maintenance requirements of their service. For a chemical peel, for instance, detail the absolute necessity for rigorous sun protection, proper hydration, and the specific healing timeframes, perhaps suggesting compatible at-home products. For a high-maintenance cut or color, explicitly discuss the frequency of touch-ups required to consistently maintain their desired look, maybe even pre-booking the next appointment. It reinforces the commitment needed to keep that perfect result vibrant and fresh.
It's about managing effort expectation. If the client knows what it takes to maintain their look, they're less likely to be surprised or feel overwhelmed later. You're effectively building a bridge between their aspiration and the reality of ongoing effort. This honesty, once again, builds credibility and prevents future disappointment, ensuring that the satisfaction they felt initially is sustained long-term.
Okay, so sometimes, despite all our best intentions, the absolute best way to manage expectations and ensure client satisfaction is to simply set a firm, clear boundary. This brings us to section 2. The art of setting boundaries, saying no in a professional way. It's often the hardest part, isn't it? Because our natural inclination is to please, to accommodate. But it's also incredibly important for both the client's ultimate well-being and the integrity of your business.
What's truly fascinating here is that saying no professionally doesn't undermine client satisfaction. Quite the opposite. In many cases, it actually significantly enhances your credibility. It ensures you're delivering what's truly best for the client, and indeed for your business. It reflects a deep sense of responsibility, a commitment to maintaining the integrity and quality of your services, and a powerful statement of your expertise. It's about protecting your professional standards and, paradoxically, building deeper trust by doing so. The core idea behind why setting boundaries matters is fundamentally about being responsible and managing realistic expectations, both for the client and for your own capacity. It's about maintaining the unwavering integrity and quality of your services, ensuring you're not pushed to compromise your professional standards. The impact of this is significant. It prevents you from inadvertently promising the impossible, from overextending your resources, or from compromising your expertise. Ultimately, this cultivates genuine trust and helps to meticulously avoid those negative experiences that inevitably stem from mismatched assumptions about what can realistically be achieved. You're essentially defining your professional identity.
You know, it's a bit counterintuitive, but you're not being unhelpful when you say no. You're being honest, professional, and protective of both the client's best interest and your brand's hard-earned reputation. It's a sign of true expertise and genuine care, not lack of service.
Absolutely. So how exactly do you say no professionally without alienating the client? One key approach, and one that requires both empathy and assertiveness, is to be firm but always polite. Always. If a request is genuinely outside your expertise, or if it's simply not possible due to a client's unique characteristics, like a specific hair or skin type that won't tolerate a certain treatment, explain the limitations respectfully, clearly, and without judgment. Instead of a blunt, "I can't do that," you might reframe it. You could say something like, "Wow, that's a beautiful look, and I understand why you love it based on your hair type and its current condition. Achieving that in a single session may not hold as well as you expect, and honestly, I wouldn't want to compromise your hair's health in the process. Here's what I suggest instead. Perhaps a gradual approach that will give you a similar effect while ensuring the best, healthiest outcome for your hair long-term," quote unquote. This raises an important question. How do we reframe no as a constructive expert recommendation rather than simply a denial? It's about offering guidance and demonstrating your knowledge as a trusted advisor, not just a service provider.
That's a powerful shift in perspective from denial to expert guidance. Okay. Following that, It's always a good practice and deeply appreciated by clients to offer alternatives. Clients truly value it when you provide alternative solutions that can still meet their underlying needs, perhaps in a safer, more achievable, or more sustainable way. For example, if a client requests a very specific hair color that would be severely damaging to their hair in a single session, you could suggest a safer alternative color, or propose a gradual process to achieve a similar result over several visits. This shows you're committed to their satisfaction and their well-being, even if it means adjusting their initial vision.
Exactly. It demonstrates that your no isn't a dead end, but a redirection to an equally, if not more, beneficial path. You're not just saying no, you're saying no to that specific method, but yes to your goal, and here's how we can get there safely and effectively. This maintains the relationship and reinforces your position as a problem solver rather than a gatekeeper.
And finally, it's vital to set clear service boundaries, especially regarding time. This one's a constant challenge, I think. If a client approaches you with unrealistic timeline expectations, for example, asking for a detailed color service and a complex cut to be completed in just 30 minutes, you must calmly and professionally explain why that timeline is simply not feasible without compromising quality. Establishing clear time boundaries ensures that you maintain the integrity of your services and don't rush important work, which could lead to substandard results and, ironically, client dissatisfaction.
Yes, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, setting clear boundaries around service duration also protects your team from potential burnout, fosters a healthy work environment, and guarantees that you uphold the consistent standard of work your brand is known for. It's about sustainable quality. It also implicitly teaches clients to value your time and expertise, which are finite and precious resources. You're effectively saying, I'm committed to delivering excellence, and excellence takes time.
Okay, so even with the best proactive communication and the most meticulous boundary setting, negative reviews are just, well, an inevitable part of business. It's simply the reality of interacting with people and offering services in a public forum. So, what happens when that less than glowing feedback comes in? How do we respond gracefully when those critical words hit us, sometimes feeling like a real gut punch?
The way you respond to negative feedback is a critical, high-stakes moment for your brand. It really is. It's less about the specific incident and more about how you perform your response, because it can either severely damage your brand's credibility, making you appear defensive or out of touch, or it can significantly enhance it, showcasing your unwavering commitment to growth, transparent communication, and most importantly, genuine customer care. This is where critical thinking is absolutely essential. Your public response isn't just a private apology to the one person who left the review. You're speaking directly to every potential customer who reads that review, influencing their perception of your brand for years to come. It's a public relations exercise in real time.
You know, it's almost a badge of honor in a way to get a few less than glowing reviews, because it means you're in business, you're engaging with customers, and you're putting yourself out there. No product or service, no matter how strong or carefully planned, is going to be perfect for absolutely everyone. It's just an inescapable reality.
Exactly. And that's where we need to be careful not to fall into the fundamental attribution error. As business owners, we might attribute a negative review to the client being unreasonable or maybe just having an off day. But the client attributes it to our service. Your public response needs to acknowledge that disparity perspective. The impact of your response is paramount. A thoughtful, professional response powerfully demonstrates that you genuinely care, that you're paying close attention to feedback, and that you're committed to continuous improvement and growth. On the other hand, ignoring criticism entirely or reacting poorly and defensively can instantly make your brand appear out of touch, uncaring, or simply unwilling to address legitimate concerns. This is a moment of truth for your brand's integrity.
So let's break down the key steps for responding to these negative reviews effectively. Step 1. Pause before responding. It's completely normal to feel frustrated or even defensive, especially if the complaint feels unfair or exaggerated. I think we've all been there, right? That moment you read a negative review and your stomach just drops. You want to lash out, defend yourself, maybe even Google how to delete internet for a split second. But responding emotionally rarely, if ever, helps the situation.
Absolutely. This isn't just about cooling off, it's a physiological reset. When we're blindsided by criticism, our amygdala, the emotional center of our brain, often takes over, triggering a fight or flight response. That's when you write that email or public comment you instantly regret. A simple 20-minute break, or even a few hours, allows your prefrontal cortex, your rational brain, to re-engage, enabling a strategic brand-aligned response. Give yourself space. Write out a draft maybe, but don't hit send. Then come back to it with a clear, objective mindset. That cooling off period is golden.
Once you've taken that crucial pause and you're ready to formulate your response, step 2 is to acknowledge the customer's experience. Even if you don't agree with every single detail of what they've said, showing empathy is absolutely vital. People want to feel seen and heard. They want to know their concerns matter. A simple, sincere statement like, "We're genuinely sorry to hear you had this experience, and we understand your frustration," goes an incredibly long way in making the customer feel acknowledged and de-escalating the situation.
Yes, and this raises an important question. How can we validate a customer's feelings without necessarily validating their specific, potentially disputed claim? It's about acknowledging their disappointment, their frustration, or their confusion, which are undeniable emotions, rather than getting bogged down in the factual accuracy of every detail. You're empathizing with their subjective experience, which is always real to them. This creates an opening for productive dialogue.
Moving on to step 3, take responsibility, especially when applicable. If the issue was indeed a mistake on your end, maybe a genuine shipping delay, a packaging error, or a customer service oversight, don't shy away from taking responsibility. Transparency and honesty build trust faster than almost anything else. Saying something like, "You're absolutely right, we had a hiccup in our shipping department last week, and we take full responsibility for this oversight. We are actively taking steps to improve our internal processes to prevent it from happening again," shows maturity and crucial accountability. You're not just fixing the problem, you're demonstrating your commitment to continuous improvement to everyone watching.
Absolutely. This demonstrates maturity and accountability. And even in cases where you truly believe your business did nothing wrong, you can still acknowledge their perspective of disappointment or confusion. This ties into the empathy we discussed earlier. It validates their emotional experience, which is undeniably real for them, without necessarily admitting fault where none occurred. It's a nuanced but powerful distinction that safeguards your integrity while still showing care.
Next, step 4. Offer a clear next step. Let the customer know you are genuinely willing and able to resolve the issue. This could be offering a full refund, a replacement product, a free touch-up service, a discount on a future visit, or simply a direct invitation to discuss the matter further in more detail. If the conversation needs to delve into order details or personal information, it's always best practice to move it off the public platform to email, a phone call, or a direct message. But always make sure to leave a public response indicating that you're handling it with care and have reached out directly. You want to solve the problem for them, but also clearly show the public that you are a responsible, responsive problem solver.
This is a critical point. By offering a specific next step and moving the conversation offline, you're doing two things simultaneously. You're demonstrating to the aggrieved customer that you are committed to finding a solution. And you're signaling to all other potential customers reading the exchange that you are proactive and professional in handling concerns. It's a dual communication strategy that addresses both the individual and the broader audience.
Finally, step 5. Avoid deleting reviews. Unless they are genuinely offensive, inappropriate, or violate platform guidelines. I know the temptation can be huge, but most people understand that no brand is perfect, and a few less than glowing reviews are not going to ruin your reputation. Not usually. In fact, a thoughtfully written, respectful, and empathetic response to a negative review can often earn you more trust and credibility than 100 5-star reviews. It shows you're human and accountable.
And on the flip side, deleting valid criticism almost always makes your brand look defensive, untrustworthy, and as you have something to hide. This raises an important question. What message does a brand truly send when it selectively curates its feedback, removing anything that isn't perfectly positive? It can erode trust far more quickly and deeply than an honest, albeit negative, review ever could. Authenticity, even with imperfections, often resonates more powerfully with consumers these days.
So what does this all mean for your business moving forward? Beyond just handling the immediate issue, every negative interaction, every piece of criticism holds a hidden gem, a profound opportunity for strategic growth and learning. This brings us to section 4, turning criticism into opportunity and growth.
Exactly. This is where the power of critical thinking truly comes into play. It's not just about mitigating damage, it's about strategically leveraging feedback to foster continuous improvement and strengthen your brand's foundational trust. Negative feedback, when approached with this mindset, becomes a catalyst for evolution, a roadmap to refining your processes and enhancing client satisfaction even further.
The core idea here is that criticism, while sometimes painful to receive, and let's be honest, it usually often highlights critical areas needing improvement within your business that you might not otherwise notice. Don't just dismiss it, dissect it. Ask yourself, are multiple customers having the same exact issue? Are expectations not being communicated clearly enough, perhaps in our marketing, during consultations, or in our aftercare instructions? This is essentially free, unsolicited market research. It might point to systemic issues in customer service training, flaws with product packaging, confusing labeling, or unclear product instructions. Are there patterns emerging that point to a systemic issue rather than just an isolated one-off incident?
Absolutely. This isn't just about fixing a symptom, it's about performing a root cause analysis. Is there a gap in your onboarding process for new clients? Is a particular product consistently underperforming? This kind of feedback is invaluable for what's known as the Kaizen philosophy, continuous improvement. It forces you to look inward, challenge assumptions, and evolve. Embracing this perspective can transform your brand from one that simply tolerates criticism to one that actively seeks it out for growth.
Another incredibly powerful yet often overlooked proactive measure is to actively encourage positive reviews. Many satisfied customers simply don't think to leave a review unless they are gently prompted. A kind, non-demanding request and a follow-up email after a successful order, or a gentle reminder after a fantastic service can significantly help to balance your overall review profile.
The impact of this is substantial. A steady flow of honest, positive feedback builds your reputation organically over time and makes the occasional bad review feel much less significant, providing a more accurate overall picture of your brand's performance. This raises an important question, though. How do we cultivate a culture where positive advocacy becomes a natural extension of a great client experience, rather than feeling like a forced request? It's often about creating moments of unexpected delight, going that extra mile, which then naturally inspires clients to share their positive experiences. It's the reciprocity principle. In action, give an amazing experience, and clients often feel compelled to give back in some way.
And finally, remember that beyond the individual, when you respond to a negative review, you're not just addressing that one person, you're speaking directly to everyone else who reads it. Your response, therefore, becomes a mini advertisement, a public demonstration of your customer service philosophy. What message are you sending about your brand's commitment to its clients and its values? A calm, empathetic, and professional tone not only helps to resolve the specific situation, but also profoundly strengthens your brand's image in the public eye. People aren't just buying products or services anymore. They're buying into how your brand makes them feel, its integrity, and its responsiveness.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, how you handle criticism, both publicly and internally, says a tremendous amount about your brand's core values and ultimately who you are as a business. This shapes customer perception far more deeply and authentically than even the most extensive marketing campaigns alone. It's a true test of character for your brand, providing social proof to future customers that you can be trusted, even when things go wrong. That trust, once earned, is incredibly resilient.
Today, we've journeyed through the intricate balance required to build genuine customer satisfaction and ultimately enduring brand loyalty. We've seen how a delicate dance of clear, proactive communication, setting realistic goals with your clients, consistent follow-through on your promises, and the graceful, strategic handling of feedback when it does arise forms the absolute bedrock of any resilient business. It's a holistic approach to building a brand that thrives on trust.
We've explored that by proactively managing expectations, from the precision and empathy of the initial consultation to the diligent care of post-service follow-up, and by responding to criticism with genuine empathy and an unwavering commitment to resolution. You're not just preventing misunderstandings, no. You're actively enhancing the client experience at every single touchpoint and fostering an environment of profound trust and mutual respect that can withstand any challenge. You're shaping not just transactions, but genuine relationships.
So as you reflect on this deep dive, consider this. In a world saturated with choices, where every click and swipe offers a new option, your clients aren't just selecting a service or a product from you. They are, at their core, choosing an experience, opting into a relationship, and seeking a particular feeling.
The ultimate question then becomes, what story, what enduring narrative does your response to both expressed and unexpressed expectations tell about the kind of relationship you truly aspire to build with your clients, and the lasting impression you wish to leave in their hearts and minds? Think about it, and how you can truly master that narrative.
Thanks for tuning in to the Song for Beauty podcast. This is a place where beauty meets community and it meets strategy and ideas. If anything resonated with you, if you were inspired, if ideas were sparked by this podcast, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, also share it. Be sure to check out www.samb4beauty.com. Stay tuned, and we hope to see you at the SAMB for Beauty conference this year in November. It's a virtual conference, November 5th through the 7th. There's a lot of great resources. You're going to access workshops, one-to-one consultations and membership. And then there are quarterly webinars for knowledge, and there's a knowledge base that you can access, all to support your efforts as you look at expanding some of your sales and marketing efforts for your business. We appreciate you checking in. Make sure to follow and check out the next episode.